Manasairvedamaptavyam nihana nashti kinshana mrityosa mrityungashati yata naneva pashyati. The Yama said, Nachiketa, you are that Ishana, but merely saying that you are Ishana is of no avail. If anyone calls you a millionaire, merely hearing this does not actually make you the owner of 1,000,000 rupees. So simply uttering the word millionaire is not enough. You must be in a position to receive recognition as a millionaire. Merely boasting with an inflated chest that I am Ishana or I am Brahma does not mean that one has attained the state of Brahma. You must have heard the story of the Vedantist jackal, listening to the discourses of the Pandits, erudite scholars. The jackal too started preaching in his own society that he was not a jackal, but a living Brahma, to be adored and revered by all. The state of those who, having read a few pages of a book, dream of salvation without doing any sadhana, is similar to that of the Vedantist jackal. Actually, merely talk is of no avail. Establishing oneself in consciousness is what is important. To think oneself an MA is useless. Only after striving hard and passing the MA exam does the sense of being an MA become established in the mind, and will the talk of being an MA be justified. The Yama said, characteristically, the unit entity is Ishana. This truth remains only within the bounds of language. No intrinsic significance can be attached to it until the unit entity is fully established in this truth or fully realizes it. What must one do to become established in this truth? What is the way? Vyama said, one who has earnest zeal and devotion should learn the method of spiritual practice from a capable acharya or preceptor, so that this supreme truth may be realized by a sadhaka, intuitional practitioner, as the highest attainment. Now, the question may be asked, can it not be attained through one's self-effort alone, without going to an acharya? Suppose you are very thirsty. If there is a pond nearby, in that case you may quench your thirst with a handful of water from the pond or by digging a well with a shovel. You will certainly not adopt the second method, for before you have dug the well, you may die of burning thirst. It may be impossible for you to find the equipment needed to dig the well. Even those who can secure the equipment can do so only by taking help from others. Of course, one may procure iron ore from the mine, melt it into iron and then make a shovel, cut a branch of a tree and make a handle out of it and then dig a well. In such a case no help has been taken from others, but it does involve a good amount of risk, for after digging the well you find the water salty or brackish, completely unfit for drinking. So you will have to go to a capable acharya and learn Brahma Vidya, intuitional science, and strictly following what the experienced acharya teaches you. If you wish, you may ask the acharya why you must do this and that, but do not try to indulge in your own whims and caprices. Properly follow the method of sadhana, and you will surely progress. Victory will certainly be yours. After meditating according to the instructions of the acharya, the knower of truth, you will feel that in this observable world there exists but one entity. You will see one indivisible Purusha radiating before your eyes everywhere. Only one entity, not more than one. The narrow and fragmented vision will then be lost. Fools fight over the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, but the geographer knows that both are but the regional names of the one Indian Ocean. Those in whose crude, subtle and causal states flow the graceful manifestations of the one and the same Purusha, day in and day out, see only him in everything. They transcend the restlessness of the mortal world and become established in deathlessness. Purusha alone is the indivisible cognitive entity. Being under the influence of Prakriti, we sometimes see him as a son, sometimes as a wife or husband, sometimes as fame, sometimes as learning. Actually, behind each of these expressions, the fundamental entity is one. It is like necklaces, earrings, and the bracelets of gold. You look upon each of them from different angles and create a particular history or tradition for each one. You also make use of each of them in various ways, wearing one on the hand, the other around the neck, and so on. But when you go to a goldsmith's shop, the goldsmith views all of them as gold, not as separate items. He does not think of their names, whether earrings, bracelets, or necklaces. He fixes the value of the gold only, weighing them on the scale, minus their dross and alloys. Become a true goldsmith of this type. Learn to distinguish the actual substance beyond the superficial names. By properly practicing the method of sadhana, as explained by the Acharya, the capacity to distinguish the original substance will also be awakened in you. Follow the path of sadhana and see for yourself, casting away all your fears, shame, doubt, and hesitation. Those who look at things with an individual outlook, viewing only their diverse forms, to whom the names alone are all important, run after things under the influence of their sensual propensities. They are nothing but slaves of their sensual proclivities, for the fulfillment of their ungratified desires. To exhaust their samskaras, they have to take birth after death again and again, the final death, the death which is the sweet flow of eternal good. That nectarian super death does not want to come to them. The death of true sadhakas is super death, and so they do not fear it, for to them it means not death, but endless life, by unbolting every lock on the doors of their bondages. And so in death the sadhakas merge their unit lives in the supreme life, and attain supreme bliss. The supreme life is indeed Brahma, which is the only sustainer of the characteristic existence of every entity. Agniriyata eko bhuvane pravishtu rupam rupam pratirupo yagama ekashtatat sarva bhuta tantaratma rupam rupam pratirupo bahishya. In this observable world, one notices the wonderful performances of the forces of lightning, light, sound, heat. The peculiar place of these forces certainly bewilder people, but the scientist who is aware of the truth knows that energy is only one. The same material force or energy is manifested differently in different states. This material force is not only active as a force alone, it is also the crude state of matter. This so-called material force comes into being as the result of the influence of the triple attribute, Prakriti over Purusha. Just as energy, taking innumerable forms in this universe, goes on functioning in them, similarly, one and the same Atman remains ensconced in every form as the witness, and also as one of its components. The Atman is not only present as a component and witness in the energy created forms, he is also present as the all-witnessing entity outside them as well. He abides not only in the creation, but also outside it as the knower. He is even in the objectless cosmic principle, where knowledge, known, and the knower have become one.